Hello, I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III. And today, this is viewer emails. And I'm going to try a new formula today. I've started rolling this out on the Paul Pluta channel. Basically, I'm scrapping an intro straight into the facts, straight into the things, because I've been waffling on. And I'm just going to very quickly say, remember, like, subscribe, and tell your fuckhead friends. Look in the description for 10 ways you can help Archie Luxury. So that's very quick to the point and straight into viewer emails. I'm also going to try scrapping an intro. I may have an outro, but I'm going to try scrapping an intro just straight in, fuckers. Okay, viewer emails today. Now, this was actually one that I did as a paid review. So there is actually a paid review to this. But basically, Gary came to me, he said, Archie, I've sent you $20 for a video response. I've got two shitters. I got a Tag Heuer Carrera Twin Time, 39mm with a black dial, date and GMT complication. The second is an IWC Mark 15, simple 38mm round case. Now, he came to me and said, I like both of these watches, but I've learned from your pontificating that these are ETA-powered shitters. I'm thinking of selling both and getting a proper watch. What should I get? I don't want a Rolex and I don't want a Speedy. I like simple round watches with black dials. Please help me, Archie Gaza. And I said to Gaza, stop. The fact that a watch has an ETA movement is not big enough cause to scrap it. Speaking of which, I better put a wrist on. Put a wristwatch on. Wristwatch check. Omega Speedmaster. Man on the fucking moon. So, I just want to say there that just because you've got a watch that has an ETA or a Valjoux type movement in it, doesn't mean it's an absolute shitter. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it. Now, I've been very brash in my criticisms, but also you've got to be sensible. You can't be stupid and just get rid of things just because it's got an ETA. Look, one of my favorite watches of all time is the Breitling Navitimer, and a lot of them use the Valjoux 7750 movement. And looking back in the history books, look at this way too. Patek Philippe, for their perpetual calendar chronographs, they used Lemania movements. You could actually see in the older Patek catalogs, which mention these pieces, Novo Lemania, new Lemania movement. So I wouldn't be so tough on it. And I got to tell you, although I wouldn't personally buy the Tag myself, it's actually quite a nice looking watch. And the IWC is also very nice looking. So my advice to Gaza, stop. Those are two reasonably nice watches. Don't sell them. What are you going to do? You're going to sell them? Okay, if you were going to sell them, I would say buy a sports steel Rolex, or buy an Omega. If you're not going to follow that, well, stop. What's wrong with the two you've got? The Carrera Twin Time, I got to tell you the truth. It's actually it's a knife. It's a very nice looking watch. And the IWC, it's a big pilot type watch, style type watch. It's fucking gorgeous. So I said to Gaza, don't sell it. Keep them. And always remember, just because I go off and say this and that, don't take things so personally. If you've got those pieces, you bought them. I wouldn't say you should buy a Tag Heuer. Unless it's one of the vintage. I like the reissue of the Monaco, the Carrera. But, I mean, look. If you've got one of these pieces, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. If you got a Steinhardt, yes, it's the end of the world. You got a fucking James McCabe, you got a fucking Squally. Yeah, they are fucking shitters. And I will fucking tell you. But these two pieces here, the Tag Heuer, Carrera Twin Time, and the IWC Mark 15, cool pieces. They're nice. So that was my advice to Gaza. So always remember that. Speaking of crazy gifts to come through the mail room, I got this letter as well. Archie Luxury. Hi Archie, you are probably my favorite YouTuber. My favorite video of yours is included your videos about Thailand, your videos contemplating how shit Australia, the Western world is. I am from your, what does he say here? I am from these, your, what the fuck? And your videos about the New World Order. Oh, and your travel videos. I have noticed that people have been sending you drawings. Some really good. I do not have talent like this. And I don't like the paper. And I did not make the paper mache head. I am posting to you. It's a pre-made for sale. I saw it and thought, that looks like Archie. It is supposed to be used as a pinata or just decoration. Do with it what you want. Hope you like it. Please keep my name and location anonymous. Anyway, Archie, don't tell the folks. Don't let the trolls get to you. Thank you so much. So he sent me a wonderful Panata. Hey, that looks like Archie Luxury. Hey, that looks exactly like Archie. Yes, it does there. So he's going to be doing stand-in gigs for me very soon. If I'm not available, hello, fuckers. How are you today? I'm Archie. I'm doing a wristwatch check. Yeah, very cool indeed. Thank you for the pinata. Let's get back to the mailbag, fuckers. The mailbag indeed. Let's get straight back in here to the mailbag. And the next one has come in here. It's from David. Hi Archie, hope you're well. Thanks for your latest advice. You are by far the best. Archie, I have got a Rolex Submariner 2014, but I have seen a Rolex Explorer 2 42mm white dial 2014 on sale for 4,695 British pounds. They will take my part exchange for my sub. I don't know how much money I will get for my sub. I have a Panerai PAM 111 and an Amiga. Man on the fucking moon. The Rolex sub seems a bit common in London. Should I get the Explorer? Thanks, Archie. As always, best regards, Dave. And so Dave's got a 2014 Rolex sub and he's asking, should he swap it with a dealer for a 2014 42mm Rolex Explorer 2. And he's asking, you know, he may have to put a bit of money in. I said, stop! Dumb deal. Yes, I love the Explorer 2. But don't be swapping that. Well, this is the 40mm one. Don't be swapping your Submariner for an Explorer 2. On the used market, the Explorer is much more in demand. Much more. That is a dumb move. So please stop. Don't do that. Yes, I spruik the Explorer 2, but I'm not going to let you do something fucking stupid. The Submariners are worth more on the used market than the Explorer. So I would say to you now, stop. That is a dumb move. Don't do it. Stay with the sub. Okay, you may get a little bit sick of it at times, but stay with it. Swapping with dealers is like dealing with sharks and credit cards. It is nasty. Don't do it. The only reason a dealer will part exchange something if it's fucking in their favor. Try doing the reverse and see what the dealer would fuck you over. That's my advice to you. Don't do it. Stop. Stay with the sub. It is a classic. It is highly in demand. Stay with the sub. Next, viewer email.
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.
Okay, so we've got some viewer questions that come in here. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Here's the question. These are just we're trying to answer them quickly, right?
Yeah.
No liability except at gunpoint. This is for James, right?
Yeah, James. Right. Yeah,
Okay.
James.
He doesn't give us much information, but
No.
let's have a look. How do I buy a commercial property? How do I buy a commercial building? I want to buy an office, warehouse in the US. I have good income, but make a lot of deductions, so my tax return looks like I have a low income. The building is 250,000. I would like to put down 50 to 150 deposit. Now he's asking these weird questions. He goes, how much will interest rate be on that? Well, he needs to talk to some lenders. We're not fucking lenders here. You know,
We'll go through each point. Yeah.
How do I start structuring my bookkeeping to look more attractive to commercial lenders? I hear banks suck. Thanks, Anonymous. Which we shouldn't have said James. But anyhow.
Well, let's start again. What's the first section?
Okay, he wants to buy. So what he's saying is, I have good income, but he has a lot of deductions.
Well,
so he has a low income.
Well, he's got good income.
I think I know
What's he do? What's he do then?
He doesn't. But I'm saying he's got a good income, but he has got a lot of deductions.
Like what?
Look,
Like hookers?
No, but like business, like for example, I have big, good, reasonable income.
Yeah.
I have a lot of travel, which lowers my income. It's quite legitimate.
Well, you got no income.
You got no income.
Yeah, so you got no income. You don't get a loan.
You don't have income, so I think what you're trying
But him, like
he's asking this question, right? So what he's saying
but
is,
he hasn't told us what he does.
No.
See, if he has, for instance, if he works for the bank, say,
Sure.
or he works for, say,
He
he's a
said
clerk.
he hears banks suck.
No. Well, let's suppose he works for insurance company.
Sure.
So he works for an insurance company as a clerk.
Sure.
So he's got big income, all right. Let's suppose he's got 100,000 a year, and big expenses. Well, what expenses would he have? He hasn't got expenses. You know.
He hasn't really explained enough there.
If he's self-employed, I mean, you can have a store with $1 million turnover.
Mm-hmm.
But if the expenses are 1.1, it doesn't matter what the turnover was. So the first thing is
So I think what he's saying, reading between the lines,
he
right?
doesn't earn much.
He doesn't really earn, because I mean these expenses.
Well,
you can't have it both ways. You can't have high income when you're applying for the bank or
Yeah.
the finance company, and low income when it comes to tax time. That's
If
what you call fraud, isn't it?
you have
it one way or the other, Charlie.
If you're an accountant and you got 100,000 income, but your rent and expenses are at 90,000, well, the 100,000 is irrelevant because you only got 10. That's your net income. So what you got to, the interesting question is that high expenses, is that personal stuff like going travel and like fancy cars and restaurants, or is it genuine?
So he's saying, how do I structure my bookkeeping to look more attractive to commercial lenders?
How do you structure your bookkeeping? Well, no, they're not interested in your bookkeeping. They're interested in your tax returns. So you got to produce a tax return. You can structure anything you like. They're not going to believe you. What we used to do, you come in with your books. You say, "Here's my figures," and you say, "There it is. Look, last year I made this and this, and this year, look, for 3 months I made more than last year. So you multiply that by 4." And I would say, "Get that. Throw in the rubbish bin. Start again. Where's your tax return?" Oh, but no, interested in the buts. What's the fair income? So they were pretending and saying, "Oh, structuring bookkeeping." The people are not interested in your figures because you can put anything in there. You can put all your income in, leave the expenses out. And the banks are not that stupid. They're more sophisticated. Most of the people in the banks now have got a university degree and did a bit of accounting and that. They're not stupid. So what he has to do, he has to genuinely have a reasonable income. So that's the first thing. He has to get a reasonable income. So he's got enough to pay for his expenses. So let's suppose he's got a surplus of 50,000. Now, the other thing is, he might have a surplus of 50,000, but if he's got 3 kids at private schools and his wife's likes to shop and shop until she drops. Well, that's not much good either. So so that's the first thing. Income. How much has he got? He's got to have reasonable surplus income available. Now the next part is what you say. He wants to buy one for $250,000. All right. So now in America, I believe that the lenders are prospects lenders. In Australia, we're security lenders. So in Australia, you go at the bank. Say the shops, the commercial property is worth $250,000. Right? It's saying that it's worth.
Sure.
So how that's calculated, they don't say, well, what's the wall cost to build? What's the cost for the floor? They look at the net rental. And the net rental, so income, less expenses, rates, insurance, whatever, is say it's 25,000. So 25,000. So if your capitalization factor is 10%, well, 100 divided by 10 is 10. So the valuation of that thing is 250. 25,000 multiplied by 10, 250. So first of all, in Australia, we say, what's the valuation of that? The valuation of a commercial property, it depends. It's capitalization of net rental. You work out the net rental and then you multiply that by a factor.
Sure.
Now, there's different things apply, and a good factor will be 10%. So if your rent's 25,000, well, then it's worth 250,000. If you're, if you're buying a building for 250,000, but your factor's 7, and 7 times 20, it's not worth 250,000.
Sure, I see
Now,
what you're saying.
but I think in America they lend on ability to repay. Australia they look at ability to repay, but they're more interested, is it enough security to support it? Now in Australia, because I work for Chase Manhattan, that's the American bank,
Sure.
and they're more prospects lenders than security lenders. But then in Australia, they're the biggest security lenders out. So what happens when you're lending a building? They say, well, what's the thing worth? So they, for a house in Australia, for instance, they'll lend you 90%. But for commercial, the maximum is 80%. And if you're buying a block of land, it's 50%. They're not going to lend you massive amounts against something which you're going to lose. So a commercial property, maybe if he's buying for $250, he needs 20% deposit, which is $50,000.
So he hasn't really given us much information. What's the interest rate? Well, he has to talk to his lenders.
Well, the interest rates is quite simple. I mean, today's interest rates are about, here in Australia, it's about 4 or 5%. In America, it'd be the same. It might be cheaper in America. Australian interest rates are higher.
He'd have to talk to the lenders.
So he has to just ring a lender and ask, and he might get, I'd say, 5%, 6% to be the interest rate. So if he's borrowing 250, well, 200 he can borrow because say 80%. That's 12,000 is interest, and then other expenses.
What do you think of his comment? I hear banks suck. Would you agree with that or what?
No, that's not true at all. I think. So where's he going to go? To a pawnbroker?
Yes.
I mean, what's he talking about? He's going to
He's just
approach the local church or something? Banks don't suck. Banks are realistic, and I mean, in a sense, the bank's protecting him.
He can't go in there with low income.
If he's got no income, and he's got things that stupid deal, well, the bank's going to say, well, you're an idiot buying it. The bank, by not lending you, is telling you, you borrow, you'll be broke. The bank doesn't want to lend you $250,000 against a property they'll sell for $100,000, or you can't rent to be vacant. In fact, in commercial properties, they won't lend it to you unless it's rented, it's tenanted. Because and even when you're building a building, which I'm involved in heavily with the merchant bank, they don't lend you money on you're building it and trying to rent it. You've got to get signed leases before you've even started building it. For say 60% of it or 70% of it, because you build it and it's on the market for 3 years. Because commercial property, a house, you put it in the market and you can get somebody to rent it, probably within a couple of weeks or certainly a month. In a reasonable area. If you're in Emerald or something, some place where there's nobody there, well, you're not going to rent it either. But in a reasonable city area with a reasonable thing, you'll rent it within a couple of weeks. But commercial property, you can stay there vacant for 2 years, 3 years. There's one down the road here, was vacant for many, many years. Because yes, it was a great building, But the economy was down, people weren't expanding, they were contracting. So you just empty building for 3 years, how's he going to pay?
Hey, thank you for your advice there.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece, we adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.
Okay, here we go. Dear Paul, I need your help. I made a big mistake and I know I fucked up. I do not know anything about watches, and one day I was walking in Dubai, in a mall in Dubai, and I saw a Frank Muller boutique. And Frank Muller Mariner, he's got a reference number there, not a chrono, stainless steel watch with date on the window, and I fell in love with the dial and I bought my first watch and I paid them all my hard-earned cash. I'm not a rich person for sure. Okay, I'm writing here the price, but please do not humiliate me as I am already in pain. I paid $13,500, meaning they fucked me hard. Later, I learned that Frank Muller is dog shit. At least this is what I understand from your YouTube channel. Now I badly need your advice. Hey! The fucker Frank Muller does not put any explanation about the watch. It's not in the box anywhere on their website. Could not find anything on the net. What is the movement inside? I don't even know whether it's water resistant. What do you think? B, I found a guy who will pay $8,000 for it. I love the dial of the watch, but should I sell it at this price? It's 2 months old, or keep it. If I sell it, $5,500 will be the loss. Or C, if you advise me to sell it, what should I buy with the money? I always wanted to have an AP Royal Oak Offshore Safari. Do you recommend buying one? Pre-owned, of course, and I will add a lot of cash. Okie dokie. I've sent you your fee for PayPal. Thanks for the advice. Regards. Now, I said to him, stop. Frank Muller's not a terrible watch. I said it was a very respected luxury brand. I mean, they went for a phase in the late 90s, early noughties. They were very, very hot. The Japanese market loved Frank Muller. So just slow down. Yes, a lot of Frank Mullers use ETA machines, albeit high-end ETA machines. But a lot of makers have done this. IWC uses ETA. Breitling uses a lot of ETA. So don't be so... Tudor uses a lot of ETA. So don't be so critical of that. Nothing wrong with that. Now, my advice, don't buy retail again. That was a dumb move. Always do your homework first. And Dubai, there are no real bargains in Dubai. It's a very expensive place to buy stuff. People think it's a shopping mecca. No, it's full fucking retail. No bargains in Dubai. Dubai is expensive. America has much better bargains than Dubai. And I said to him, personally, I said, many good watches, I wouldn't be taking it in water. That's a fine piece of, it's a very expensive watch. I wouldn't take a Patek in water, even a Nautilus I wouldn't. Even, Rolex, I'm still humming, and I wouldn't recommend taking any watch in water. Especially with one of those very expensive Frank Muller straps. Do you have any idea how fucking dear they are to replace? You start taking it in water, that'll look like shit. I think you're best to keep the watch. Frank Muller, yeah, I wouldn't buy one. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't buy it. But it's not an absolute shitter. Frank Muller is a highly respected brand, which I wouldn't rule out buying a Frank Muller at the right price in the future. I wouldn't rule it out. So Yeah, there you go. That's my opinion. Archie Luxury's opinion. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. So this has been the advice I'm saying to you. Keep it. I wouldn't sell it. Okay? You like it? It's Frank Muller is. I would wear a Frank Muller. Yes, I would wear one. Someone gave me one. I'd fucking wear it. You betcha. They are a not. Frank Muller's a bit like Breitling. It's the dials. It's not so much the machines. Different things do different things. Cartier, it's the style. The machine often is ETA. Breitling's the dials. Frank Muller's the style and the dial. You know, that's the thing. So I wouldn't be selling it, losing a lot of money like that. I'd be keeping it, enjoying it. And don't buy retail again. I wouldn't buy a second one. But, man, I would keep it. My advice to you is keep it. I'm Archie Luxury. This has been viewer emails. Tell me what you fuckers think. I'm trying the new formula. No intro, just very quick to the point. And, you know, I'm just trying to get straight to the point, improve the channel, improve the ratings. Tell me what you think. So you can send questions in. Viewer emails at this stage is free, or you can put a small donation. But there is no guarantee I will play your viewer email. There is, you know, not things for free. I do charge $20 for a paid review on my Paul Pluta channel. There is no guarantee. You send me a free question, I'll run with it. If I think it's a stinker, I'm not going to fucking run with it, am I? So there you go. I'm Paul Pluta. This has been viewer emails. Tell me what you mean, nasty brown vinyl fuckers think of that.
Hello fuckers, I'm Jesus, and I wanted to thank you for watching the Archie Luxury channel on YouTube. Archie is one funny fucker, and I love his work, unlike some other nasty fuckers. Did you know some of the other nasty fuckers worship Satan? That's right, they worship the devil. I love Archie Luxury, and I know he's happy you are watching. Love you all, and please keep watching. Please look in the description of this video to find 10 ways you can help Archie.